Tonight on the Bayou Breakdown, Angel Reese prepares to take the next step in her career at tonight's WNBA draft.
LSU Football gives a look ahead to the fall with Saturday's spring game.
And a profile of LSU's offensive stars heading to the draft.
All this and more is coming up. The Bayou Breakdown starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bayou Breakdown. I'm Madelyn Frentress.
And I'm Jaida Farris. We've got a lot to cover today, so let's go ahead and get right started. First up, we have tonight's WNBA draft.
Yeah, Jaida, that's right. This year's WNBA draft will be held at the Brooklyn Academy of Music in New York. It will be broadcasted exclusively on ESPN and is set to begin at 6:30 Central Time. Iowa's Caitlin Clark is expected to go #1 overall to the Indiana Fever, and ESPN's mock draft has LSU's very own Angel Reese going to the Chicago Sky as the 7th overall pick. But we won't know for sure until later tonight, of course. And Jaida, these are two young ladies that have just absolutely grown the game of women's basketball. They've done so much for the hype around it, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can bring that hype that they had in college to the WNBA, and also their kind of competitive rivalry they got going on. I hope that continues, don't you?
Yeah, it'll be definitely really interesting to see what Cameron Brink does in the WNBA. She averaged 18 points per game, 12 rebounds, 4-time Pac-12 champion, 2024 Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. She really just has a way of moving on the court. And then you have Camila Cordoza, who 6'7", just pure size, and a lot of mock drafts have her and Angel Reese both going to Chicago. So it'll be real interesting if they can take that rivalry and kind of turn it into this teammate aspect that they could be having next season.
Yeah.
But the LSU football is also losing some major talent to the pros this month with the draft class headlined by Heisman-winning quarterback Jaden Daniels. With question marks surrounding the future of the Tigers offense, one player put fans on notice Saturday afternoon in the annual spring game. Reporter Adam Gattuso was in Death Valley with the scoop.
Was the National L Club spring game here in Baton Rouge today, but when you get football in April, it is always a W. Now, as fans descended upon Tiger Stadium for the first time in months, all eyes were on one player.
I kind of want to see Nussmeier live in action.
Nuss is going to be playing.
I think Nussmeier is ready.
Wonder if Nussmeier can get the job done.
It was bombs away for Nussmeier, finishing the game a perfect 7 for 7 with a pair of touchdowns. Check this one out, deep down the field to Kyron Lacey.
He keeps his eyes down the field. That's a huge thing, right? As he steps up in the pocket, he sees, an open receiver down the field. I thought he was clean today. I thought he was efficient. I thought he did the things that we expected him to do.
Here he is once again, finding Lacey for an explosive gain. Many fans hoping that connection can bring back memories of Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors.
Nussmeier's pass complete to number 2, Kyron Lacey.
Now, speaking of explosives, sophomore running back Caleb Jackson stole the show late in the scrimmage.
Very aggressive, very physical. Tell you what, when he get in open field, those cornerbacks don't want to tackle him. They don't want to tackle Caleb. Same way when Leonard got in open. Those cornerbacks and safeties didn't want to tackle him, not by themselves.
It was a bit of a different story for the second and third teams as that defensive line got to the backfield in a hurry. Freshman safety Deshaun McBride even joining the fun with this interception in the end zone off of Vandy transfer A.J. Swan. With the highs did come the lows, but Brian Kelly said it's not time to worry just yet about that defense.
We weren't showing USC anything today, right? So that was vanilla defense. As I mentioned earlier, we would have done a lot of game planning against an elite receiver so we're on an island a little bit.
Blake Baker's new look defense will put it all on the line against USC in September. For now, the team taking a break until the summer. In Tiger Stadium, I'm Adam Gattuso, Tiger TV Sports.
Adam made a good point there. Football in April is always a good time, right, Jaida?
Yeah, I got a chance to go to the spring game, and it was really cool to see Garrett Nussmeier in that starting position for the first time in Tiger Stadium. It'll be really interesting to see how he works with Kyron Lacey and Chris Hilton this year because they definitely have some really big shoes to fill. David Barthélemy is in the studio, though, with everything you need to know about the future of NFLSU.
Thanks, guys. Last week, we took a look at LSU's defensive draftees. Now, today, we'll be looking at the 4 offensive players headed to the draft. First up, let's start with that offensive lineman, the only one leaving this year, Charles Turner III. 6'4", 300 pounds, and he's a part of that Joe Moore Award finalist offensive line. He has great hands, really good at getting to the defender. Any problems in his game would probably be that he just lacks that initial speed, not enough of that pure power when he's getting off, but definitely stuff that can be fixed going into the big leagues. Next up, let's take a look at the person who lined up behind him in Noah Cain, a running back. Noah Cain spent 3 years at Penn State before coming back to his hometown, Baton Rouge, to finish off his career with the Tigers. And every time he was in, he did really good. He made an immediate impact. Great vision, was able to get down, and you get what you get with him. The lineman push, he follows. That was what he was good at. Only thing that probably could say was lacking from his game, again, speed and not being able to create that much separation. But again, that's stuff that can be fixed. Next up, let's take a look at those 2 projected first-round picks. Let's start off with Brian Thomas Jr., who had an amazing year for LSU. We already knew who he could be going into the season, but he just shocked everybody. That 4.34 speed, you definitely didn't know he ran that, but he was so quick, creates a lot of separation, just has natural ball tracking abilities, always able to make a play, and that deep threat is always eminent with him. If there were to be any flaw to his game, which there really aren't many, but you can say that I'd like to see him expand that route tree. We know his prominence, deep ball. Let's see some of those short routes. And last but not least, let's take a look at Malik Neighbors, who has everything that Brian Thomas has, plus more. Malik is just so athletic. He can move all around the field. It takes more than one person to tackle him. That's something that every NFL scout is looking for, plus the fact that his run after catch ability is so crazy. Listen, as a Giants fan, I hope we land Malik. He can really help us on that offensive side of the ball. And just like Brian, there's not really much cons to his game. I guess you can say that he could work on that deep threat, become an all-around receiver, which he already is. And now I know we forgot one person, a notable figure, the Heisman, Jaden Daniels, but don't worry because next week we'll have the whole breakdown on him. That's it for now. I'm David Bartholomew. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, David. The women's tennis SEC championship is right around the corner, and LSU wrapped up SEC play against Auburn on Sunday. Reporter Tate Eisworth was at the match and has an update on the team.
On a beautiful 83-degree Sunday afternoon, LSU women's tennis played their final home match of the season. Despite fighting hard, they were unable to send their seniors off victorious, losing to Auburn 4-0.
The number 14 ranked Auburn Tigers came into the match with a chip on their shoulder after suffering a tough 6-1 loss to Texas A&M. Doubles play kicked off the afternoon and Auburn made quick work of LSU, bruising their way to securing the doubles point. Shortly after, Auburn quickly won the first 3 singles matches and concluded the afternoon early. Despite the loss, Coach Taylor Fogelman was feeling sentimental about this year's team.
They did as much as they could today, battled really hard like they always do. So we didn't get the result we wanted, but still couldn't be more proud of them and having them with us.
With this match being the last home match of the season, graduating students were recognized and fans showed their appreciation for the departing athletes.
I've never been used to this because in my old school we didn't have a facility. So having finally home matches has been amazing to me. Yeah, it really feels like we have their back and they're amazing. So thank you so much for coming.
As tournament play and the playoffs creep up, the number 33 ranked Tigers certainly have a chance to surprise other top competition.
On any given day, I'd like our chances against any team, quite honestly. We certainly still have some work to do with the doubles and the singles. I don't think that would be any different if we were 20-0.
LSU women's tennis looks to make a strong postseason push as they head to Athens, Georgia for the SEC Championship on April 17th. For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Tate Eisworth.
The women's tennis team secured the 8th seed in the SEC tournament and will face off against Arkansas in the first round, a team they beat convincingly in early April. Coming up after the break, Charles Fleischer joins us to talk LSU softball, so don't go anywhere.
We're Tiger TV, LSU's student-run broadcast news station.
We're bringing you 4 newscasts a week, covering all things LSU.
Our news team is covering all the stories you need to know from LSU's campus and the Baton Rouge community.
And our sports team has you covered on the Tigers from the field to the court. Tiger TV, Sports, News, You.
Watch us on WBRZ 2+, Channel 11 at 11:10.
And welcome back to the Bayou Breakdown. I'm Charles Fleischer, and this weekend, LSU Softball hosted the Auburn Tigers at Tiger Park, and despite the series not going the way the Tigers would have hoped, it was a tough matchup and an emotional weekend. The offense went dry in this series, bolstering only 5 runs in the 3 games and only 3 hits in the series finale. Auburn pitchers Shelby Lowe and Maddie Penta put the clamps on the purple and gold, combining for 11 strikeouts in the series.
Tough when you have a lineup of all left-handers and you're facing a left-hander with good numbers against it. I mean, I think she'd given up 9 hits to left-handers coming into the weekend, something like that. So it's tough, bad matchup. That's all you can say.
But the Tigers had one of the most emotional moments of the season when Kelly Lynch, whose father passed away from cancer when she was 11 years old, pitched a no-hitter with 9 strikeouts in the Teal game on Saturday.
Yeah, I think after the Southeastern game, just realizing that I want to come back stronger and work on a few things. My command really wasn't there, so that was my priority today. First of all, to try to get the win for our team, but also really hone in on my command, and I feel like I did a good job of that. I think some people say I look mad all the time, but I'm really just like focused in, really trying to get the job done, trying to keep, like my breath and my heart rate as even as possible, because I know that's when I perform best and I'm the most consistent. So, and I think my teammates appreciate that out of me. So.
The schedule does not get any easier from here for the Purple and Gold. On Tuesday, they'll host ULL, the team that eliminated them from last year's NCAA tournament. That's all I have for now, but after the break, we'll look into an annual tradition here at LSU. You may have missed it, but we've got you covered. You won't want to miss this.
We're Tiger TV, LSU's student-run broadcast news station.
We're bringing you 4 newscasts a week, covering all things LSU.
Our news team is covering all the stories you need to know from LSU's campus and the Baton Rouge community.
And our sports team has you covered on the Tigers from the field to the court.
Tiger TV, Sports, News, You.
Watch us on WBRZ 2+, Channel 11 at 11:10.
Welcome back to the Bayou Breakdown. LSU Softball held their 11th annual Go Teal Ovarian Cancer Walk in what was a special afternoon in Baton Rouge. This was an event where the community came together to raise awareness and show support for those affected by ovarian cancer. Ovarian cancer can go undetected until later stages when patients start to have symptoms like changes in appetite and weight loss. With over 900 participants in Saturday's walk, this was the second largest turnout for the event, with multiple players in attendance for the special occasion.
To me, the event is just such a good reminder that it's so much bigger than softball. It's so much bigger than wins and losses, and it just reminds us that the results aren't always what matters. We get to do this for something so much bigger than a win or a loss or a hit or whatever it is. We get to just be reminded that we're really all doing this together, and it's just so much bigger than what happens between the lines.
This event is huge in just creating awareness for this type of cancer. It's something that we call the silent killer. So just things that normally happen in a woman's body that you would think is normal and can turn out to be a lot worse than you think.
Madelyn, it really is so great to see these LSU teams coming out and supporting the community for events like this.
Absolutely, Jaida. But sadly, that's all we have for tonight. Make sure to follow our socials and visit our website at tigertv.tv.
And don't forget to watch Tiger TV's own podcast, The Purple Room, which talks all things LSU sports, entertainment, and culture every Friday on YouTube and Spotify.
That's it for now. For Tiger TV, I'm Madelyn Frentress.
And I'm Jaida Farris. Thanks for watching and have a great night.